Hi everyone, welcome to the next episode of the Combat Ready Frontline Podcast English edition. My name is Zezeran. I am an instructor with Combat Ready. Now, I've only been with the company for about 6 months, and I, as an Australian, have never been in the military. So this podcast series is about introducing you to my fellow instructors. So I'm asking them questions of not only about their past, but what's the mindset of the military? It's something I don't know, and I'm trying to dig into what makes a young person want to join. Why do you stay? What did you learn? All the things that go around that. And today I'm very happy to have a really amazing guy on the podcast, Priit Lilleväli. And Priit is our head of sales here at Combat Ready. And he did 5-year tour in the military. He did 2 tours in Afghanistan. And in today's episode, we start with a little bit of getting to know him, why to do, what are his motivations. But then we really dig into what was an average day like in Afghanistan. It's hot. They're working from a forward operating base. They're located very close to a village. How is it every day they're on patrol? They're having to make relationships with the elders. They've got to protect from the enemy. They're going in, talking to the elders and building a relationship in a healthy way. And then as soon as they would leave, the Taliban would roll in. And the Taliban are there building a relationship with the elders in a unhealthy way. So while our coalition forces, maybe they're trying to build a relationship, make that better, the Taliban come in and they take your daughter hostage. So what are you going to do? And how does that affect good people? So I was very fascinated to drill into what the average day is like. What happens when they get contact? How do they do? We start to learn a little bit more about the rules of combat. Cover and move straight away. They don't engage, but they instead let their teammates come in with who are more suited for that. So I really enjoyed this episode. We're going to learn about what life was like on the ground in Afghanistan and some of the lessons we take away from that. Let's go on with Priit Lilleväli. Hi everyone, we're here in the studio with Priit Lilleväli, one of my new colleagues at Combat Ready. We're going to talk about his time in the military, the mindset, what he liked, what he didn't like, how you get out of the military. We're going to talk because, I'm fascinated in this stuff. So Priit, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me here.
What do you think about our studio? Humble. Humble is
Very
the
humble.
word.
So here is a couch where I can sit and a microphone when I can talk and person to who I can talk. All set.
That's it. That's all you need. This room was the original Comedy Estonia office. The first office we ever took in, 8 years ago or 10 years ago or something like that. These floorboards are worn. There's a big worn out patch just there because that's where my seat used to be. And I used to roll back and forth. And then we converted this into our Tallinn studio afterwards. And I spent one frantic day and evening putting up all of these foams on the wall. It's all cheap AliExpress crap, and I got high because I got to spray this spray on everything, trying to get airflow in. And welcome to the studio. I'm doing this series, as I've mentioned to everybody, trying to get to know you guys, and that's so everybody else can know you guys, and also because I'm some sort of emotional crazy person that I feel better talking often when there's a microphone in front of my face. Such as the entertainer, it never leaves me. So let's go through, I want to talk about the military and this mindset. The common thread on this podcast is I've never been in the military and I'm trying to understand this mindset. Talk us about the entry and a little bit before. What were you thinking? When did you go into the military?
So actually, I have to go back to my childhood because when I was a little boy, I was living in Klooga place, and there was a military this exercise areas, and all the time the APCs and soldiers are going to the exercises. I'm just waving, show me the guns. I want to see it. I want to touch it. So obviously. My careers in the Estonian Defense Forces comes from there. And my uncle was a big role model for me. Yeah. And when he went to the time service into the Estonian Defense Forces, and after that, I told myself or I think I thought that I want to be a soldier.
Okay.
And the mindset comes from there,
Mm-hmm.
definitely from the role model of my uncle, yeah. And when the time came to go to the time service.
You mean the conscription?
Conscription, yeah. Conscription
sure.
is the right word, yeah, conscription. They asked me where you want to go.
Okay.
Actually, they told me that we will send you the Viru 4. It's like in the east of Estonia. And I told them, no, I don't want to go there.
Okay.
So we don't ask you, we tell you.
Not sure if you know how the military works, young man, but guess what?
Yeah, okay. I just little discussion there, and they ask, where you want to go? I want to go Kuperanovi battalion. It's in the south, yeah. And they told me that we don't take this time to the Kuperanovi. And I told that, okay, then I won't go.
Because you have some choice, you can delay until next year or the year after.
Because Kuperanovi was like the toughest this conscription service this time, and okay, they told me told me that write the application,
okay,
and we will see. And I got there
in that year.
Yeah.
Wow. So how did you know Kupianov was the place to go?
Actually, in this time was one series in Estonian television. It's called Soldiers or Our Soldiers, and they introduced every these battalions in Estonia, and I really liked the Kuperanovi this time.
Right. So from that TV show, from that almost like reality type show, a little bit reality maybe, you learn about that. And I've heard recently as well, a lot of news articles, how they're trying to adapt to the conscripts or keep them in the local area, or you can now submit like you and your friends. Yeah. We prefer to stay together. How do you feel about those things? I mean, it was a positive experience for you. Do you think those reforms are good for the conscript military?
Yeah, I think so. Because it will give it a calm mindset to go with your friends, and because the environment and the place is so different, you have to do hard things, and if you do hard things along together with your already buddies or friends, it's a little bit easier.
Okay,
I think it's good, because there is a lots of boys who went to the conscript service right now. So.
Sure. Is it that, I mean, I've heard the opposite as well, that the boot camp is just there to break you down, make you similar, get your thinking and the mindset. But is that the difference between a voluntary member of the military and the conscripts, that we need to be a little bit more considerate of the way these 18-year-old conscripts are dealt with?
Actually, I think this is a little bit changed because so if you go to the conscript service, I think within 2 weeks you can already go out.
Oh yeah, go home for the weekend.
Go home for the weekend.
I heard about this.
Because I think the military or the defense forces are focusing the study part. We need to educate our soldiers, not to fuck them.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Because we don't have resources. We have only 1.4 million people. We everybody needs to know how to defend our country. And I think they figured it out that we need to be a little bit easier with them and to teach actually to do everything that they want to learn. The learning way is a little bit better and efficient.
Well, I heard that the reason that they let you go home on the weekend is because now they don't have to pay for your food, your accommodation. Maybe it helps. It's a nice side effect of that. So I believe what you're getting at here is that the purpose of the conscript has to be the intent. What is the intent of the conscript? Are we enrolling this person straight away in the regular military to be like this, or is it to make this well-rounded young person who knows how to defend the country when the time comes, and maybe later they'll, hit the military, but at least they come away with those skills in that 9 months? Or how do you see the intent of the conscripts?
Yeah, same way, because we have within every year, or at first when you come out from the conscript service, we have like within every year or every 2 years we have to go to the I don't know how to call it,
some re-education.
Re-education,
Like extra education.
Extra education. So
every year you have to do that.
Yeah.
And is that different to the Kaiselit, the reserves?
Yeah. Kaiselit's a little bit different, but you need to go and re-educate yourself all the time, because the big thing is that we want to prepare all the time here in Estonia. So, and that's at that course we have to learn all the time. Learning never stops.
Right.
I think it's good.
I think so too. Like, sure, if I was a young guy and at 18 I'd done my 9 months of service and now I'm 25 and life's moved on, do I still have those skills?
No.
Have they been reinforced? No, not really. Okay, so this makes sense. So when you were going into the conscripts, you felt positive about it because you already had this good, so you were like, yeah, I'm fired up. And because in Australia, the military is, we have no apparent threat, no boots on the ground threat, let's say. So it's just not in the same part of our culture. There's no culture of we need to defend Australia, so we're going to go do that. And when I was a young person, I would look at the and go like, oh, I got like a year of my life. I'm 18. I'm fired up. I want to go do things. I want to get out there. And the government is going to take a year of my life away. Now, that's different in Estonia, right? Yeah. So how did you say, maybe yourself, you were fired up. What about your friends around you? How would you perceive the attitude of 18-year-olds?
I didn't have those kind of a mindset. I really just wanted to do cool stuff. Run in the forest, shoot the guns, explode things. Sure. It was awesome because I saw it all my childhood. And movies and so on and so on. But there was also guys who didn't like it, and they figured out all the ways how they can get out from the conscript service. And some did, some didn't. Sure. So I think there is also all the time someone who don't want to go, but there is also guys who change their minds after like 3 months or 6 months after they grew up with the team. They bond a lot because they're doing hard times together. And I didn't think so that it was like why they took the 1 year from my life. No, it was fun.
Sure. I'm an only child and a very independent child. So for me, that idea of going there and they're going to tell you what to do and run your life for you. But I could also imagine now, from what I know about leadership and leading people and that bonds between men, that I might have been that guy that after 6 months gets it and says like, oh shit, yeah, now I've got a team. Now I've got brothers. Now we've done hard things together. And okay, there's always going to be those who never do, blah, blah, blah. Some do and get that. So you went to the conscripts, and did you straight away go into the military after the conscripts?
No, actually... my conscripts went like this after half a year. No, after half a year, we had the opportunity to go to Scouts battalion. Okay. To have a course, pre-mission course. From all different Estonian battalions, defense forces gather together all the volunteers who wanna go to the pre-mission course.
So if you think you might want to stay on in the military, they gather you together and take you to the real blokes and
exactly, yeah. And they gather together like one platoon. 30 of us was there. I went to the Paldiski, to Scouts battalion, 2008. And after this course, after this time of the conscript service, I went out from Scouts, from defense forces, and half of us went to the mission to Afghanistan 2009. Yeah. And of course, I were in touch with them with messengers and letters, and I felt, oh shit, I want to go also to do cool stuff.
Okay.
And 2009, I went. 2009, yeah. In February or March, I went in.
Back there. So why did you choose not to carry on in that first moment?
I don't know.
Sure, we're young guys.
Yeah, I don't know. I felt it enough.
Okay.
I had one good job offer to Sweden to build wooden houses and so on and so on, because I was studied in as a carpenter.
Sure. Yeah.
But it didn't went good.
Okay.
Because the economic was so bad, and I didn't get enough money. And then I was contacted with my buddies from Scouts battalion, and then I thought, okay, it's the way I can go back in and have enough money and to do cool stuff with my friends.
Sure, that's the old joke. If you want to find a great Estonian builder, then go to Helsinki.
Yeah, they're all there.
Okay, so it was still an option, right? It's still an option for you to go into Scouts battalion, and so then you've got to go in. So first of all, let's set the scene. How, not to jump to the end, but how long were you in the military in total?
In total, 5 years.
5
years, yeah.
Okay.
5 years.
All right, so you go back in, and then how long and how many tours or how many overseas missions did you do? Two overseas missions. 2 in Afghanistan. How long was it from your going back in to when you did the first mission?
March, April, May. 6 months.
6 months. Okay, not so long.
Yeah.
All right.
Because I went in and straight to the pre-mission course.
Right. Okay.
And in October, end of October 2010, I flew to Afghanistan.
Is that what you chose, or just what ended up like that?
I chose it. Yeah. If you're serving in Scouts battalion, it's the reason that you want to go to the mission.
Yeah. Okay.
It's, I don't know. Then if you don't want to go to the mission, then you choose another battalion.
Gotcha. This makes sense. Sure. Yeah. That's why you're there. You're fired up. You want to see some action. You want to go serve. So do it. So you did 2 tours in Afghanistan. I was in Afghanistan as well.
Yeah.
I forget the year now. I want to say 2012 maybe, or something like that. The Estonian government sent us there, and it was myself, Stuart, and another guy, Andy, who's an older Estonian guy who was a comedian in America, like Valist Eslana, and what was doing it in Estonian. And we went there to entertain the troops. Basically, we got selected because we were cheaper than Metsatol, and we have less luggage than Metsatol, so we got that one. And we
were after Metsatol?
I forget which order it is.
Because I was there when the Metsatol
went right, yeah. I just remember at that time, they were like, at this moment, we can't afford to, like, we've got to lug all their gear and the setup and everything. And we were like, yeah, we just need a pair of speakers and a microphone. And they're like, all right, you guys are in this time.
All right.
We were in Bastion for, I don't know, 3 weeks or something like that. And we did some shows for the Estonians, some shows in English, and just lived that camp life for a while. We didn't go outside the wire, and we landed into Bastion and then straight out again. So I wouldn't say I have any sort of combat experience there, but just knowing how hot it is, what the environment is inside of the wire there. If anything, I would say I got fat eating the food because I wasn't really doing exercise because it was so hot, and just eating the good chow every day in the chow hall. Like
lots of good food in the Camp Bastion kitchens.
Yeah, you were looked after there. So were you in Camp Bastion at all?
We were. In first mission, most of the time we were in the outside of the wire.
Okay.
Yeah, we're in patrol base Vahid.
Was that some sort of forward operating base for you, or was it?
Yeah. Forward operating base down to the south, Helmand province.
Okay.
And we had like checkpoints around one village. So in 10 men groups, one checkpoint, and like within 5 kilometers square.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what was an average day on that first tour? What did an average day look like?
Average day, every day we had to protect ourselves in the this checkpoint. In the, I don't know, you're watching. I don't know how to.
Some sort of overwatch position.
Overwatch position, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Everybody needs to go every day, 24 hours, all the time. And we went to the patrols 2 times, 3 times per day.
Okay.
Which just spoke with the elders. We built the roads. We've done also with few operations, just another direction, like far away from our positions. But mainly we stayed in the near to this village and just holding the things peace there.
Okay. That's so you're in a particular place.
Yes.
You're there to look after them. What directions or orders or directives did you get from your leadership about how to deal with the townspeople and the elders and so forth? How guidance were you given about how to deal with these people?
So actually we had to be very friendly, hearts and minds. So everybody of us from soldiers, we are like representing coalition forces, and we had Estonian flags here on our soldiers, and we are representing Estonia, our country as well. So I was an infantry soldier. I didn't speak with the elders, but when we met the people or the villagers, we have to be friendly. Okay. As much as we can. We didn't harm them anyway. We just, like in our scenario in the FTX, don't come this way, go around. We went around.
Okay, you listened to them.
We listened to them.
Okay.
If it was possible. So sometimes happened like that way. We need to go over their cornfield with our APCs. We just need to do it. They didn't like it. They had to repair the field and everything. Sure. But it was for the safety of us to not drive over the IDs explosive.
Okay. Was this some of your first introduction to the idea of the value of relationships and building, like you're better off to build a relationship with these local people? That's the real mission there. It's getting rid of bad guys, but or did you even consider that, or is it just like be friendly was sort of the end of the thought when you're a young guy like that?
No, I don't think so. I think the most important for me there was to just watch over my body left and right and just to do the job. Okay. Obviously, I'm by nature just not so aggressive person, and we had this information. How can we spoke with the people, because we didn't know the language. Obviously, we learned a few local words. Come here, go back, go this way, thank you, so on. We didn't know contact with them so much. And then platoon commander, with the interpreter, they went sit down, drink tea, and discussed everything what's going on in the village. How can we support you? So usually the support what they needed is just fix the road, because you're driving with your big APCs and you see it's broke, just fix it. And we need money to build the schools or to whatever they need to do to build their village. So and if we had like good contact relationship with them, maybe they didn't shoot us after that when we went out to the village. I don't know.
Okay, so that relationship you built sort of radiated or went out beyond the village, that if you built a good relationship with the people in the village, then actually even in the outer areas, maybe the word gets around, they've got relationships and you might have an easier time in the region.
I want to think so. I want to think so. For sure, yeah. But I don't know. But if we went out that day, then Taliban came. They want to speak with the elders also. And the way they are speaking, they will just punch them. You will go to shoot them, this patrol base today. Or we take your kid.
Right.
And you will never see her or he again. What you gonna do?
Okay. That's very interesting that you've got an opponent, an enemy who's also communicating with these people. And it's if I think about the intent of your message, you guys were communicating the right way. You can imagine that you were building a relationship with these people and they might have felt better towards you. But when the gun's pointed at your kid's head, that's a very, very powerful. What else are you going to do? Right. So, and you didn't know where the Taliban were coming from. They would just come from whatever, the outside somewhere. Then you would leave, they would come in. And could you see that? How did that play out? So you come in one day and then the next day, are they actually shooting at you the next day? Or are they actually taking these negative actions towards you the next day? Or how did that 2 and 4th play out?
If we went out next day to meet with local villagers and we see there's nobody, there is everybody, then it's 100% something's gonna happen.
Okay.
So they were just covered somewhere inside, and 100% we knew that something's wrong.
Okay. And
where is everybody?
Right, where are the people? They were talking to you yesterday, and
even
now they're
the
not
cows and dogs, no animals.
Yeah.
It everything. I don't know how to describe it. The environment, you were like in the bubble. You just so focused, so quiet when the bullet cracks the air, and then went off the.
Okay, then you've got contact, and then you've got to respond to that contact. That's that must be so eerie and weird when you roll in and it's just silence. Like it's not even a person walking around or just a low day. It's like very obvious. Would there be days where there's nothing and there's no contact, or you knew that? Yeah. Sure. Sometimes it's just silence.
I can say that most of the days there was no contact.
Okay.
Most of the days, because the units who were before us, they did a good job. They had lots of contacts. Opposite, they had like for everyday contacts, but there was already sustainable everything. So we just hold it that way, and we had not many contacts, but we had.
Okay.
They all obviously they tried to annoy us all the time, but not like with the big force Taliban.
When you had the contacts that you did have, could you tell at the time or maybe later, was it a Taliban or was it a villager who had been coerced or pushed or whatever? Or is there a difference? I don't know.
Hard to say.
Okay.
We had opportunity to take the gunpowder, these examples.
Oh, okay. A sample. Yeah, sure. Make some forensic evidence.
Exactly. We did it, and we saw that he had like shoot the gun, but we didn't know who it was because they don't have any documents.
Yeah. Okay.
So a few times we sent to the compassion and to jail, and the police just ask questions and they just let them go.
Okay.
We didn't know.
There's nothing you can do. They just shut up and that's it, right? Yeah.
We didn't know. Actually, we didn't know.
That must be very hard when you just don't know who is your enemy and who isn't, and who to be skeptical of. And your mission is to protect them, but you don't know who's going to be a bad guy.
Every day we were going out from the gate, so everybody who will see can be enemy.
Yeah,
we didn't know, but you have to remain calm, be friendly, and just do your job.
When
a little bit schizophrenic.
Sure, absolutely. That's the very, very difficult part of this mission and any sort of urban environment, let's say, that it's not a clear peer-on-peer enemy.
It's not clear.
When you're in the village or the town, or at least in that area, and there was a contact, what was your SOP when there's the first sign, the first bullet, boom, goes boom by? What's the SOP?
Cover.
Okay.
Cover.
Were you typically in that environment? Were you inside an APC? Were you walking next to them? What would be that? Set that scene.
Usually, when we're in these checkpoints, we were heading to patrols by foot, and we were like by foot, yeah. And then we will just take cover, trying to remain calm, just try to understand where is the enemy. Because this was the hardest part, to figure it out where they are, because they just didn't stand there.
Sure, okay, they're moving.
They were moving all the time.
The enemy is moving and thinking.
Moving and thinking, communicating and shooting all the time. So this was the hardest part. Of course, we didn't went after them.
Okay.
We didn't went after them. Is there? Let's try with APCs. Go there? No, never, because they defend their borders with IDs, explosive devices, and we never go after them.
So if you advance on that position, they've probably got a booby trapped in some way.
Of course.
So you're in the village, someone's shooting at you, and you take cover. Maybe, I guess, do your best to return some fire if there's that, and then wait for them to go away, or how does that situation play out?
Actually, then everybody want to understand where the fire comes from.
Okay, yeah.
So now we have to maneuver and positioning our teams that way that we can defend our backs.
Okay.
If we want to go back, we don't want to that the enemy will flank us. This was important. And we have to be all the time aware about the IDs, because it was lots of the IDs everywhere. Just watch where you step. And now if we can somehow figure it out, where's the enemy, how much of the enemy, how many of them are 2, 3, 5. Usually there's 2 or 3 guys, maybe some different positions. And we just returning the fire, and usually we just came out.
Okay.
So we didn't go after them. Or if the snipers or the drones or somehow we saw where's the location, we try to use helicopters to take them down.
Okay.
Or the mortars from our patrol base.
So this was a bit of cover and move here.
Yeah, of course.
That you guys face contact, and your SOP is to protect your position, identify where the enemy is, but not to further engage. We want to pull back because we've got partners, mortar, helicopter, whatever, maybe a sniper overwatch, who are better suited to go in for that than we are.
Yeah, sometimes we went to the operations where our goal was to stay there and to wait when they're coming for us.
The Taliban.
And the Taliban, and to take out them as much as we can.
Okay, so sometimes it's an active operation.
Sometimes, yeah, sometimes. But in first mission, less. But second mission, we were moving with APCs a lot.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot.
Right. Okay. I can understand that sometimes you're just in the village. It's our daily patrol. We're here to help people, and there's no one around, and you're like, okay, I got a bad feeling about this, and then it happens. But other, it's an active mission. We've heard that there's Taliban there, and we're going to clear this place out, or something like that.
Yeah. So actually, in the first mission, the patrol base Vahid was here, and there was like 2 roads.
Okay.
And the roads, and between the roads was 1 village. One of the task was to hold the roads clear from IDs, that our coalition forces can use the roads.
Okay, makes sense. Yeah.
And that's why we had the checkpoints
Mm-hmm.
around the village, and we had like 3-4 kilometers from this road, and the other road also. We have to stay clear the road.
So that village that is inside of this perimeter, I mean, Taliban could still get in because they just look like a regular person. So you don't know if it just looks like a citizen coming in and out, and maybe, I guess, they smuggle a weapon in somehow you don't see.
Of course.
So even though you've got Overwatch or outposts around the whole thing, so your main goal there was to keep the road clear, which makes sense. Okay, because otherwise your forward operating base gets cut off, and this is a much bigger problem if you get cut off from everyone. Oh, it's fascinating how you the details of every day and the danger that can be there every day, but the way that you can mitigate that danger with basic SOPs. Okay, we're going to pull back, cover and move right there. We don't need to be Rambos here right now. In fact, we've been told not to, that we want to do that. I like that idea. So that was your first mission. And you said on the second mission, there was more active, your second deployment, there was more active missions where it's like, go out and get those bad guys. Is that, sorry, did I understand that?
Yeah, actually in the second deployment, we were also another patrol base. It's called Pimon, not far away from the other patrol base when I was in the first mission. But the area was much dangerous, much more dangerous. The first day when we went to Afghanistan, we had acclimatization like 2 or 3 weeks in Camp Bastion. Okay. After that, we drove to our patrol base in the Helmand province. And first hour when our second platoon went out with APCs to the patrol, this first patrol, and 2 APCs drive to the IDs exploded.
Within the first 2 hours?
Within the first 2 hours.
Shit. Are these APCs, are they specifically Estonian ones, or were they just...
No, Finnish ones.
Finnish ones, okay.
Yeah, we had... In first mission, we had old APCs. The bottom was so thin, like 5 millimeters. But the second deployment, we had new ones. The bottom was like V, letter V. When the explosion went, they will just go away. There was safe here.
Yeah. It deflects I've understood that as well. It deflects the explosion that way. With they're a bit higher up. And with the V and that,
Exactly. But anyway, it can do a lot of damage.
Still, I mean, the goal is not necessarily to protect the vehicle. It's to protect the occupants, to make sure you survive.
Yeah.
So that was within. Did those 2 IEDs disable those vehicles straight away, or what happened in that moment?
Yeah.
Sorry, were you in that? Or that was just what happened? No, you weren't there. Okay.
It was a second platoon. I was in the first platoon. But after that, I think. Second day or third day, we went out, and our platoon commander drove to the ID. And in one operation, it was like 2 months or 1 month later, we went back to one operation, 14 cars row, and we are heading towards the desert. And our APC was the last one, and we had the explosion. I was in the APC. I was the main gunner, this 50 cal.
Okay.
And it was like immediate. Just didn't know. It didn't understand anything.
Sure.
So dusty everywhere. I just went up. I didn't saw anything. I just saw 2 American helicopters patrolling.
Okay. Immediately they come around. Okay.
No. There was like they just came. We didn't order them.
Right. Okay. Sure. So as soon as the explosion, they got mobilized.
They just saw it.
Yep.
And it was a good example of cover and move.
Sure.
They just saw it. Our guys, maybe they will need help.
Yeah.
So usually when there is a IED attack, the enemy will shoot you with small gunfire also.
Okay. When you're getting out, you're like, oh my God, I'm so confused.
Exactly,
and they're going to get you.
They will use your confusion. But, and the copters, I think I felt that they were ready to engage
Mm-hmm.
the enemy. So hopefully there was no enemy gunfire there. It was so good accident because we lost only one tire.
Okay.
And we drove from there like with five tires.
Right. Usually there's 6 on
Usually-
those ones. And
usually
you could, so you could still drive basically.
You can still drive.
That
Everything
APC could still
was
go
good.
Yeah.
We can drive. We went. So
Right. Have you got the, cause I mean, it's just, I guess it's hard to describe what that
Yeah.
moment, that overwhelming shock of being in that explosion is. I guess, have you got the hard helmet on? So if you bang around, your head's okay.
yeah, everybody had helmets on,
Okay.
and yeah, it's hard to explain because the explosion is so quick.
Mm.
You don't have time to think anything. But after like 2 or 3 days, then I remember that then I was thinking how lucky we were to have like a new APC, not
Right.
old one.
Yeah.
If it was old one, then I think that this APC bottom was like opened like this.
Okay.
I was standing in the middle where the explosion were.
Yeah.
I was standing. I think my leg. I didn't have legs that time.
Mm.
This team leader was sitting straight under this explosion area. I think he would be dead right now. So the new APCs saved our lives.
Huh. It's interesting. The military budget and all the new things, why so much money for the military, but that one thing saved lives.
Yeah.
And that is the most valuable resource, is our people. Right. Wow, I enjoyed this story of average day in Afghanistan. This is some information that I wanted to get. I like this here. So, okay, quickly, we're going to wrap it up soon, but I was just sort of so interested in that.
Yeah.
What was your thinking after you did the first deployment and you got back home? Were you ready to go back? Were you like fired up straight away, or how's your thinking? Or how long as well was it between your deployments?
2 years.
Okay, 2
Yeah.
years. Were you fired up to go back, or were you like, I'm not going back to that shithole again? Mixed.
I don't know. It was like mixed feelings,
Mm.
but I didn't know what to do. Anything else also.
Mm.
I stayed in Scouts battalion, and there came the new opportunity to go to the deployment.
Mm.
They asked me, and I said, "Why not?" But the second time, when the plane took off from Tallinn, I had a little bit different feelings because I already knew what kind of environment there is.
Mm.
And it was different, yeah, because I knew the dangers already there. And but if I went back to the second deployment, then I started to think maybe doesn't need to go to the third time.
Okay, two's enough. By this time, by the time you're doing the second deployment, had you met your wife yet, or did you have a family? Did you have any kids yet?
First deployment also.
Oh, right. Okay.
We've met. Actually, we've started to date with Kadri first before the first deployment.
Okay.
She waited me like 2-3 years, according the pre-mission courses and deployments. And after second mission, she told me that I will not wait you if you go to the third time.
Okay. This is starting to get powerful. This is a powerful thing. What do we've served our country.
Yeah.
You did your bit. Now it's time to focus on your family.
Actually, yeah, we're building a very strong relationship with between other. So I think it was very good for me because now I'm married with her and I have 2 wonderful boys.
I love it. I love it very much. All right. Well, I think this is perfect. We learned one finite thing about you, right? That we learned and went into detail on this one thing. And I was very interested to hear about feelings and experience. I hope it was okay for you to sort of go back into that moment of being there in one day. All right, Priit, what have you got lined up for the rest of the day, mate? What you got?
So rest of the day, I will take out my computer. I have to answer a few emails. And what else? I need to do some appointments. And this is it.
Look at this. This guy, he's a warrior on the battlefield, and he's a warrior when it comes to sales as well. Methodical, repeatable. You said it great. You're the, I don't know if you're the official head, but you're the unofficial head of sales in Combat Ready, and you set a great example. So thank you for your service, and thank you for your service to sales and teaching us how to do good work. Priit, thanks for coming in today.
Thank you, Luis.
Nice.
Good to have you.
Thank you, everybody.